It's just business.
And guys, we want to show you simply a better way. So I'm going to go through this, but I want to make sure we're going to break it down line upon line, precept upon precept. My focus of showing this presentation, as Mr. Bradley asked me, is to give you the confidence. Instead of you feel like you're part of one of those things, give you the boldness so you don't have to be passive. And it comes to get some information. Once you get information, you get excited about having some knowledge. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
So the objective is I want to help you provide an understanding of the industry of network marketing. My second goal is to provide you with a posture, the confidence and boldness needed to be successful in network marketing. And lastly, we want to give you an understanding. It's just simply a better way of doing business. And so, as we get started, guys, the first thing I recognize we got to do, and Pastor and I talk about this, is we got to change the tape. Everybody say change the tape.
Change the tape.
See, the first thing you got to understand is we've been created by God for success, but we've been programmed and conditioned for failure. For so long, we've been told what we couldn't do and who we weren't and what we couldn't be, so we started believing it. And now what we have to do is we have to change the tape. That's right. And so, guys, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So as we go forward, here's what most people understand. We've been conditioned. We've been taught, and how many of you are taught this? Go to school. What's the rest? Get a good education.
And get a good
stay secure.
job.
Y'all been taught that?
Yeah.
But guys, what you want to get to understand is just a better way. That's an old paradigm. And if you don't have the new information, you'll still be trying to operate under an old paradigm. You'll be enslaved, shackled to us, an employee mindset. And the sad part is you'll be willing to work hard for somebody else to live their dreams than you're willing to live for your own. And so we're talking about network marketing simply a better way. What I want to do is I want to play a short video by Eric Worre. And I want you to watch this. This will be a quick intro, and then we're going to go into the presentation.
The world is changing faster than ever. What used to take decades is now taking years or even months.
What you see right now is the illusion that people have had for many decades and about the workplace being the secure place to work the rest of your life. For the first time in the history of our nation, our children will not do as well as us.
We've seen our friends get laid off. We've been laid off. We've had our pay cut.
People are overworked and underpaid. They seem to have less time and less freedom. They live under constant pressure.
This is going to be forced. And so even if your employer loves you, they may have to cut you.
There's something wrong. That on Monday morning, the heart attack rate increases by 35%. Technology is accelerating, job security is declining. It just doesn't seem like the old models of making a living are as reliable as they used to be.
Every aspect of our lives, there's a better way out there, but we're still doing it the old way.
We live in the greatest country on the planet, and there are a lot of people sitting around complaining and being cynical.
Like everyone's whining about this old model, and I'm like, why don't you leave it? Look at all this over here. Look at all this opportunity.
Since so much of our lives revolve around our work and the way we make our living, many people are thinking there just has to be a better way.
The biggest challenge facing our world today is not making money, is what are we going to do with all the displaced unemployed people?
People are afraid that they're going to make the wrong decision. People are afraid of the unknown. People are afraid that maybe I don't have the skills.
Hey, sports fans, industrial age is over. It's dead. It's dying. That's why going to school to get a job is an obsolete idea. A steady paycheck is an industrial age idea.
Everybody say it's a better way.
There's a better way.
One more time, everybody say it's a better way.
There's a better way.
Guys, that's from the book, Rise of the Entrepreneur by Eric Worre, so you can pick up that CD. It's about 58 minutes of just documentary that just shows you why we're a better system. So we talk about reprogramming the mind. Romans 12:1-2 says, the way that we're transformed is we have to change the way we think. How many understand that? If you continue to think the same way, you're going to continue to get the same results.
That's right.
If you want to change the outcome, you got to change what you input. And so we have to do our mind, but this is one thing I understand. And the pastor and I should about taking those hurdles. Here's the thing I think hinders most people, Mr. Bradley, they don't hurt bad enough. That's it. And see, until it hurts bad enough, you'll continue to lay on the nail. You know, and I won't go into it, but I often tell a story of a gentleman that's running down a country road, and he heard this awful sound, and the dog was laying, and he talked to the dog and said, what's wrong? He said, the dog, that's the dog. He said, what's wrong? He said, laying on the nail. He said, for God's sake, why don't you get up? And the owner said, it don't hurt bad enough. That's like most people, most ways to paying them remaining the same, only then will one change. So a lot of times when you see people that say they understand the challenge, but they won't change until the person got enough. Now, having said that, what I want to do is kind of take you through a class. But what I discovered, sometimes it's hard for you to see the picture when you're the one that's in the frame. And so what I want to do is I actually want to give you an illustration, and we're going to talk about what network marketing is. We're going to break it down to the simplest compound. But the reason I want to do this is because I need you to look at it from a different vantage point. Sometimes when it's talking about you don't see it. You got defense mechanisms. So I want to take you out the equation so you can actually see what network marketing is. Does that make sense? Yep. Now, let's go forward. Here's what I do want you to understand, guys. Ruling people are reading people. And if you want to change what your outcome is, you got to change what the inside is. And before I go into the presentation of network marketing, guys, you got to read. I run into a lot of people say, I don't like to read. But let me share one thing with you. When you don't know something, and you teach your children all you don't know. See, you gotta read a book for your family's sake. You gotta pick up a book, not just because you need information. You gotta pick up a book because what you don't know, your family is suffering because of your lack of knowledge. Because the book says, my people are destroyed because of a lack of knowledge. So watch this. It says, because you reject knowledge, I will also reject you. How did you reject knowledge? Because when an opportunity comes, you don't want to come to me. You say, I don't need that. I see that for you. You're rejecting the opportunity to come better. So you have to read. And so guys, there are many books, but obviously these are some of the main ones. Think and Grow Rich, your first year network marketing, the Slide Edge, the Magic Compound Food. I go on and on, but guys, you got to pick up a book. And you got to get the information in the book and apply the information. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So now let's talk about business. Everybody say business.
Business.
Guys, we're going to break it down real simple. What is business? Business, one definition says, it's the purchase and sell of goods in an intent to make a what?
Profit.
So people open up businesses. They sell products, services, or goods to make a what?
Profit.
Next, the next definition says, it's a person, partnership, or corporation engaged in commerce, manufacturing, or a service, profit-seeking enterprise or concern. I highlighted the last one because, in a simple form, providing quality goods and services in exchange of some form of financial currency. Guys, the measuring tool of business is to make a what?
Profit.
People go into business to make a what?
Profit.
Awesome. So, the purpose of business. James Rose says, a legitimate purpose of business is to provide a product or service that people need and do it so well that it's profitable. And so he says the legitimate purpose of business is you provide a product, you provide a service where you meet a need, and you do it so well that people gladly take you. Does that make sense? Now, the measure tool of business is to make a what?
Profit.
So, if you're in business, you should be making a what?
Profit.
I want to throw that in because a lot of times people are in business, they do it as a hobby. And sometimes I'll say this, guys, you say, well, my wife doesn't support me. Or you say, I got men asking for permission. Now, you come to a presentation and you see it, but you know one of the most insulting things is to say, I gotta go home and ask my what? Can you provide for the family? But we made a covenant. The covenant says that you will provide and you will be the protector, but you don't say, I gotta go ask my wife. Can I may provide for the family? But the reason why you have a kickback when you have an issue is because instead of going out and making a profit, you plan.
Teach, brother.
And so now you wonder why she don't trust you because when you left out there, she's like, you playing with your friends. But if you bring her home money, she ain't got no issues. She provide that.
Got that right.
Now, without a purpose bigger than yourself, you only serve yourself. And most people are focused on themselves, and because they're not focused on how they can help somebody else, that's the challenge. The reason people fearful to talk to somebody else is because it's all about themselves. You're about them rejecting you. But when you understand it's not about you, you understand you're just providing an opportunity for somebody to change their life. And if their bank account don't motivate them, that's why Mr. Madden up here whether you're doing business or not, because at the end of the day, his bank account's gonna be okay. And if your situation don't motivate you, then why should he care whether you want to change your family's financial future? But we all have to have the same posture. Everybody say posture.
Posture.